If you're watching this video right now, there's a good chance that you're at least somewhat interested in using a notebook. And I can reassure you that you're in the right place because I myself, I'm someone who has kind of transformed his life around using notebooks and really just being more analog overall. I made a video in the past about my 3 notebooks. I call them my 3 notebooks of wisdom. And I get it. I totally understand. That's totally corny. It makes me feel like Indiana Jones or some kind of philosopher using these notebooks. And the nerd in me loves it. And I think that's kind of the goal. And using tools like this again, it's just to have fun with it. We don't want to take ourselves too seriously. So while I do call them my notebooks of wisdom, I say it jokingly, but at the same time, a part of it is legit. Like I'm serious behind it. And I'm going to show you exactly why. I'm going to go in a specific order and you'll find out why as the video goes on. So the first notebook that I utilize on a consistent basis is my commonplace book. And commonplace books have really blown up, at least in the past couple years in popularity. And specifically for the reason of remembering what we read, which is entirely true. And that's kind of how I hopped on the bandwagon of commonplace books back about a year ago, a little bit more than a year ago now. I started out with utilizing it to remember what I read by copying passages down, important ideas, lessons, themes. That's really the goal with a commonplace book. I didn't realize that I could really use a commonplace book for really just about anything that I consume. So while I do use it for books, I also use it for taking notes on YouTube, or even maybe inspirational quotes or meaningful quotes from movies, themes from movies, podcasts, news articles online, whatever it may be. My commonplace book is the home for all of that important information that I don't want to forget. The reason I dedicate it to this notebook is because I want it separate from my own thoughts. So I can still comment on the pieces of information in my commonplace book, but I do so much rambling and everything else that I just want to keep it by itself. Having a commonplace book has created such a fun encyclopedia of information that is curated to just my interests. And I categorize this as my memory notebook. My commonplace notebook is under memory. So that's the first notebook. And number 2 is one of the notebooks that I've recently changed how I use on a daily basis, and it's my pocket notebook. And I categorize this as my catch-all notebook. In the past, I have been using my pocket notebook as more of a philosophical insights of what I'm observing at work, and really nothing else. But now I use it as a genuine catch-all where I'm jotting down ideas, emotions, even observations still. Really anything in the moment, in that exact moment. And that's why I carry it with me everywhere. It's so small, it's portable. I can just take out my pocket notebook, write down whatever I want to write down really quick, and put it back and get back to work. Pocket notebook is essentially, instead of me grabbing my phone to open my notes and type, I just don't prefer that. My brain doesn't work that way. I just find it so much easier and more effective to just click my pen and jot down something that I want to explore later. This isn't my deep thoughts notebook. This is really my first filter. That's why this notebook has been my MVP of 2025. I've already filled up 4 of them. So that's essentially 1 pocket notebook per month because I have so much that I have come through my mind that I don't want to forget about, whether it's for business, whether it's for personal reasons, whether it's a really good idea or something I just want to explore later. I mean, our brains work in weird ways, right? But I use this as my secondary brain. It's things that I know I'm going to forget in even about 30 minutes from when I think of it. So I make sure I write it down. And I essentially don't look at my pocket notebook until I get to explore it later, which then leads me perfectly into my last and final notebook, which is my main journal, which I categorize as my big picture notebook. The reason I categorize my journal as such is because this is the notebook that I usually spend longer writing sessions on, where I can really explore deeply those ideas that I caught in my catch-all, those lessons that I wrote down in my commonplace book. This is the notebook that I utilize to filter out what I want to explore deeper. For example, for context reasons, we're all here on this YouTube video, right? This video that you're watching started out as a very quick bullet point in my pocket notebook and has since turned into a full-fledged video that you're watching right now that I outlined in my main journal. This is something that I've been doing even outside of YouTube. This is with my professional life, with my personal life. I create roadmaps. I create big picture ideas and goals for anything in my journal. But this is also the space I go into the most depth with myself, with personal reflection. One thing that I've been practicing more lately are morning pages. Morning pages are one of the most popular journaling methods that I haven't really given a fair shot in recent memory. And I've only done it for just about a week now, but oh my goodness gracious, has it been impactful. It has transformed my days entirely and really flipped my day upside down in the best way possible. It's safe to say I'm not a morning person, but waking up and training myself to do these morning pages has been so impactful for me that I almost want to dedicate another video in the future specifically towards morning pages and how I approach those in my journal. And here's one thing I really want to emphasize is that even though this is my system right now, present day, it's going to change in the future. And that's one thing that's absolutely amazing about keeping an analog lifestyle. You can utilize all of your tools to best fit your current lifestyle. And while this is how I use my notebooks now, who's to say I won't change it in a month, maybe change it in a year or even longer? It always adapts, it always changes, and that's the magic in keeping analog tools is they're hands-on and you can always adapt. So thank you so much for watching. If you're still here at the end of this video, please be sure to leave a notebook emoji to let me know who the real ones are, and a quick shout out to the Florida Gators for being national champions in college basketball. Go Gators. And yeah, that's really all I got. So thank you so much for your time. I'll catch you in the next one. Later.